dark. A is the sensory neuron. B is the motor neuron. C is the junction between neurons, which is a synapse, and D is the relay neuron. Select two properties of reflex actions for 1 mark. The acronym FAP can be used, so fast, automatic, and protective are the 3 properties of a reflex action. So 2 of those there gives you the mark. The length of the neuron is 0.9 meters. An electrical impulse can travel along the neuron at 75 meters per second. Use the equation to calculate the time. So we need to rearrange this equation. Time equals distance over speed. So the distance they gave us is 0.9. The speed they gave us is 75 meters per second, which will give you an answer 0.012. You can round that to 0.01 if you want. You get a mark for writing that, if you're writing the equation, but getting the wrong answer. Motor neuron disease prevents motor neurons functioning effectively. Explain why these individuals will find it difficult to walk. Okay, if the motor neuron doesn't function effectively, that means it cannot pass electrical impulses along as easily. Okay, so the impulses cannot stimulate or reach the muscles. Okay, or it's harder for the electrical impulses to get to the muscle or the effector, which means muscles can't contract, which is the second point. Well, it says question 5, I've lost count. State what is meant by the term invasive species. A lot of people have just put what an alien species is, but not what an invasive species is. It is a non-native organism, which is a term you had to state, or words to that effect, an organism that doesn't belong in an environment, introduced into a habitat or an environment or a country, you have to include one of those terms, and which causes harm. Didn't really accept causes problems. Try and say causes damage or causes harm. State the genus of the yellow crazy ant. It should have given its name up here. Anoplolepsis basilicipes. Okay, the genus and scientific names comes first. Don't forget, they start with capital A. So you need to make sure that you write it as that. Anoplolepsis. Make sure you spell it right as well. And do not put the full name, because that's not the genus, that's its scientific name. Explain how the formation affects biodiversity. Okay, biodiversity can either go up or down, or it can stay the same. If you get super colonies of these invasive species, the most likely thing would be biodiversity will decrease. However, you can't stop there because it asks you to explain. So why would the biodiversity decrease? As it will kill lots of species. Or you get lots of species. You could, if you really want to do, say the reverse by saying there's an increase in biodiversity because you're going to get large numbers of these ants. So don't forget, biodiversity is also a number of species, but also the number of individuals within each species. So if you get lots of super ants, you're actually technically increasing the biodiversity of the area. Female ants, this is question B, have a chromosome number of 34 and produce gametes through the process of meiosis. So in the body cells, they have 34 chromosomes. State how many gametes are produced from each mother cell. Okay, so gametes, by meiosis, 4 daughter cells are produced every meiosis division, mitotic division. Males develop from female eggs, which have not been fertilized. Okay, so female eggs, conclude the chromosome number in males and explain your answer. So, if males are female eggs that haven't been fertilized, technically they're still gametes. And gametes have half of the number of chromosomes, so they would have 17 chromosomes, because that's the chromosome number in gametes. Another way of phrasing that second point, the gamete, or the egg, has half the number of chromosomes of the parent cell. State one function of mitosis in adult ants. So we're replacing worn out cells. Supposed to say cell. Replacing cells or repairing tissues. It would not allow me to say accept growth, because it's in adult ants. Adult ants are fully grown, so you can't say that. And be careful, this is one of those things, you can't have repairing cells. If your cells are damaged, they die. Your body tells them to die. Question 8. There are approximately lots of different types. There are many different types of cancer. One of the most common is breast cancer. In approximately 30%, breast cancers, a high level of HER2 protein is present. This is due to mutation in HER2 gene. State what is meant by the term mutation. It is a change in a gene. And that's all you have to say. Or you can say it's a change in a chromosome, change in genetic material, a change in base sequence, a change in genetic code. In Wales, approximately 2,900 people are diagnosed with breast cancer each year. Calculate how many of those diagnosed would be expected to have a high level of HER2 protein present. Okay, 2,900 people diagnosed with breast cancer. How many would have a high level? In approximately 30%, they have a high level. So you need to find 30% of 2,900. So to find that percentage, do that calculation, and you should get the answer of 870. Explain how the gene, HER2 gene, codes for the production of HER2. Okay, so it works as a triplet. The genetic code is a triplet code. That means that 3 bases, or a triplet, codes for 1 amino acid. Okay, the sequence of triplets will code for the sequence of amino acids found in a protein. The mark that people missed is that these amino acids need to join or link together. And you have to say it forms the specific if you're given the name of a protein, say the name of the specific protein. So the amino acids join has to include the word join to form the HER2 protein. Okay. I've ignored these questions, just so you know.